Good evening from Perth. It's actually 11 p.m. over here. It's KaKi Lee. Welcome to day 29 of my 31-day live video challenge. I just finished watching My Fair Lady on TV. I don't usually watch TV, but My Fair Lady was on and I love that movie and haven't watched it since goodness knows how long it's been since I last watched it. It's I still love that movie, but some of the things are probably not socially acceptable anymore. How they speak in terms of um, what they think about women and how women are treated back then, probably not socially acceptable. But what I want to touch on is, for those of you who know the story or even those who don't know, Eliza Doolittle, and played by Audrey Hepburn. I love Audrey Hepburn. She plays Eliza Doolittle, and so she used to sell flowers on the streets. So she lives in poverty back in um, England, 19th century England, and so she gets picked up by this rich guy, and they put a bet on to transform her into a lady, so that even royalty can't figure out that that she's so good. Like, they change her to become a lady so that no one even knows where she used to come from, that she is just perfectly blends in with royalty. So that was a bet. And so she goes through all the training, and all that. And what was interesting, not interesting, but I think the point that stuck out to me the most is, once you change, once you upgrade and go to a new version of you, there really is no going back. Because what happens is Eliza goes from, this impoverished person that doesn't speak well, she speaks, she's not educated, so she doesn't speak well, she doesn't speak proper. So they're trying to teach her how to speak properly, and she's like, A. She can't even pronounce the vowels properly, and they're like A-E-I-O-U. And the rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain. So these are the things that, they're teaching her to say so that she pronounces them perfectly and like a lady. And once she's basically passed all the tests, she is able to fool royalty that she's, she basically is from a good background. Um, and then she got scared that Mr. Higgins, who picked her up, Professor Higgins, would just get rid of her because the bet's finished and, it's all done. And they basically treated her like she was nothing. She was a piece of meat. Not a piece of meat. Like, she was just like, she, gosh, it's too late. I can't get my words out. But basically, she passed a test, she fooled royalty, and then it was like, oh shit, well, Miss Professor Higgins won the bet. He made her into a lady and fooled royalty. And now she's like, oh, well, where am I going to go? She's now a lady, and going back to where she used to be just didn't feel right to her anymore. She's become accustomed to this new way of living in wealth, living in this new environment. And so she leaves overnight and ends up going back to where she used to live, and the people that she used to sell flowers with, that she used to hang out on the streets with. And she's dressed beautifully in all the new clothes that she has. And no one recognizes her. And she just felt that she didn't belong there anymore. And that's what happens when you go through this growth journey. When you decide to commit to a personal growth or spiritual journey. And as you grow, there are things that you can't go back to anymore. There are things that you leave behind. And it's not a pretty process, because when you go through the growth journey, there's a lot of shit that comes up that you need to work through. And then you realize there's things in your life that you can't go back to anymore, that you can't do anymore. There might be even friends that you need to leave behind because they didn't grow with you, or that you find out that your values and their values actually don't match, or that they actually never really cared about you the way you cared about them. There was more you giving and them taking. And there's just so many different things that you can't go back to. And yeah, that really stuck out for me in that movie, because I think with my growth journey, it's been a lot like that, where I grow and then it's like, oh, I need to leave certain things behind, where there is a certain way that I've been certain traits that I've had a lot of, throughout my life, really not because that's who I am. It was who I am so that I don't stand out. So it was those kind of things that I left behind. There's also, people, I didn't leave my friends behind, but there's definitely is a different relationship with a lot of friends. And you'll find that you also have new people come into your life, which you go, wow, like I just never even expected those friendships, but they just come in. And I mean, even with my podcast, I've met so many different beautiful ladies, and some of them have been really instrumental in helping me, or create opportunities that I wouldn't have been able, not wouldn't have been able to, but I didn't expect for them to create those opportunities for me. And it's just beautiful. Hi, Paola. Oh. And it's just beautiful that, as you change, your environment also changes. And there's also a lot of shedding and a lot of, at the moment actually, a lot of financial changes with my shedding, really letting go of my attachment to money. And I didn't realize how much of an attachment I had to money until, I've had this shedding going on. Everything that was the old KaKi and the old Terry, because my husband's also going through this growth phase at the moment. We're just doing a lot of quantum leaping and chain growth, lots of growth in the last few months. It's realizing that we've shedded a lot in the last couple of months. It's just ridiculous how fast things change and how fast things move when you are going through these phases of growth. And it's phenomenal. And we both feel that we're just stepping into these new versions of ourselves. We're still in that transition stage, but it's really this really cool feeling knowing that you're nearly there. So yeah, once you commit to that change, there really is no going back. Just like Eliza Doolittle in My Fair Lady, once she's had that change, she's gone into this new version of her, she couldn't go back. And this is just just a share really, to let you know that if you do decide to change and take that commitment to your personal growth, that there is no going back. once you start, it's like an addiction because you just want to see where you go next and where you go next and where you go next. And there really is no going back to that old version of you. It's just this continuous new version of you, this better version of you. And it's not even a new version, it's just that you're digging deeper into who you really are. It's like really letting your true self out. I think that's probably a better way of putting it, because there's not this new version. It's really digging inside to unleash more and more of you to the outside world, because you've been hiding it in there and it's been kept secret. So yeah, I just wanted to share that and that if you do, there's a lot of shedding as well that goes with it. It's not just like, ooh, I'm at this, this new part of me has come out, and then there's not anything that isn't ideal that happens. There's a lot of things that happen when you start growing, because all the old stuff gets left behind. So enough of my ramblings. It's too late in the evening, but got something special planned for tomorrow, because it's kind of a special day. It's a countdown day tomorrow. So yeah, that's all from me. I love you, I believe in you, and have a beautiful night, evening, morning, wherever you are.